This is Hashem. It's 5 in the evening and he wakes up, ready to get to work on his project. He opens his laptop, but just as he's about to start, a notification pops up on his phone from Instagram. He opens Instagram, scrolls through one post, two posts, three posts, and suddenly realizes he's been on Instagram for an hour, maybe two. Hashem puts his phone down and tells himself, "All right, time to get back to work." He opens his laptop again, ready to start. But his brain tells him, "You don't have much energy. Make yourself some tea so you can start fresh." He makes tea, drinks it, and goes back to work, ready to begin. Suddenly, his phone rings. It's his friend, the one who talks a lot. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes pass in meaningless conversation. Finally, they hang up, and our dear Hashem says, "Now I'll finally get to studying and finish my project." But just as he's about to start, his tricky brain tells him, "You're a bit hungry. Grab some food so you can start with energy." Hashem, who loves food, quickly grabs something from the fridge and eats. When he comes back ready to work, his brain hits him with the final blow. "Your stomach is too full now. You don't have the energy. Wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m. After a good night's rest, you'll get everything done." Hashem, who doesn't mind this idea at all, closes his laptop, sets his alarm for 5 a.m., and picks up his phone again. Another hour, maybe two, on Instagram and YouTube. The next morning, when his phone alarm rings, he wakes up for a moment, hits snooze or turns it off and goes back to sleep, not caring that his project hasn't even progressed by 1%. The next day, the cycle repeats. And this cycle doesn't just continue for Hashem, but for all procrastinators. It continues until Hashem hits a deadline, a due date for the project. As the deadline gets closer, a day or two before, suddenly Hashem's careless brain switches to panic mode. Anxiety and stress take over. "If I don't finish this project in this short time, 1,000 bad things might happen. I might be embarrassed." That anxiety and stress in the final moments force Hashem to put in all his effort, all his energy, even losing sleep to finish the project, regardless of the quality of the work he delivers. The story of Hashem might sound familiar to all of us who procrastinate and keep delaying our tasks. Scientifically, procrastination is defined as the intentional and unnecessary delay of tasks we were already supposed to do. And that already supposed to do part is crucial. Why? We'll understand later when we talk about how to quit procrastination. Back to our dear Hashem. As he continued this cycle, one night while watching videos on YouTube as usual, he came across a video by Tim Urban about procrastination. It had 57 million views. Curious, Hashem clicked on it. And guess what happened? By the end of the video, Hashem was in shock. It felt like Tim had summed up his entire life in just 13 minutes. Now here's the question. Many people talk about procrastination. Why did this video go viral and make Tim Urban the face of procrastination? In that 13 to 14-minute talk, what did he say that captured the attention of the world, especially Hashem? Tim Urban paints a picture of what happens in the brain of a procrastinator like Hashem. He explains that there are three main characters in our minds. The first is the rational decision maker, holding the steering wheel of our brain, making choices that benefit us in the long run. But this rational decision maker isn't alone. If it were, we'd always do what's best for us. There's also a second character, the instant gratification monkey. It wants immediate pleasure, hates discomfort, and insists, "I need to enjoy myself right now," just like Hashem's brain. Tim Urban says that whenever the rational decision maker tries to focus, this monkey shows up and says, "Relax, you can do this task later, nothing will happen. There's always time. Let's check YouTube instead. Let's do something more fun, like watch a movie." This cycle repeats endlessly in procrastinators like our dear Hashem. Only when the deadline approaches does the third character appear, the panic monster. This monster suddenly warns, "You're about to miss the deadline. Bad things will happen if you don't finish this now." Hashem is then filled with anxiety and stress, which finally push him to work nonstop, just to submit the project, regardless of its quality. Scientific research on procrastination essentially confirms Tim Urban's metaphor. They describe it differently. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for long-term planning and decision-making. the limbic system, which controls emotions and seeks instant gratification, and the amygdala, which triggers fear, anxiety, and stress when deadlines approach, pushing us to act. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to go through each and every one of Hashem's personal problems, even the ones he doesn't know he has, and find solutions together. From now on, listen carefully. Now, you might think others have said the same thing. What's different here? This is where the part that shocked Hashem comes in. Tim Urban explains that many of us don't truly understand the damage procrastination does to our lives. If we did, we'd do everything in our power to eliminate it as quickly as possible. He says we have two types of tasks: short-term tasks with external deadlines, like projects assigned by a boss or teacher. These usually get done because the deadline motivates us. Long-term tasks with no external deadlines, the ones we're solely responsible for, like taking care of our health, turning ideas into reality, starting a business, or leaving a toxic relationship. These tasks have no immediate rewards, so we procrastinate. And these are the ones that cost us our time, our lives. This realization shook Hashem. He realized how much of his life he had already lost. How terrifying is that? Look at this chart. Each square represents 1 week of our life. We live as if our time is infinite, but it's not. These squares are all we have. Some are already gone. Some might never come because life can end unexpectedly. Our time is limited, and we must use it wisely. Right now, you might feel anxious or even hopeless like Hashem. But there's good news. Everything has a solution, even procrastination. If you, like Hashem, have decided to quit procrastination, leave a comment right now. I'm with you, Hashem. Now, let's look at scientific strategies to beat procrastination. We turn to Nir Eyal, author of the book Indistractable. He offers 4 main steps to overcome procrastination. Step 1. Identify your triggers. Whenever we procrastinate, something triggers it. Triggers can be external, like a phone notification, or internal, like stress, anxiety, or loneliness. For example, every time Hashem hit a small roadblock in his project, he felt stressed or lonely. That internal trigger drove him to check Instagram. Instagram is just the external trigger. The real cause was inside him. Nir Eyal says we must notice and write down our internal triggers. Most of us blame distractions like YouTube or Instagram. But the root cause is within us, and it's been the same throughout history. The more we understand our internal triggers, the more control we have over procrastination. Step 2. The 10-minute rule. Whenever the instant gratification monkey shows up, tell it, "Okay, I'll do what you want, but in 10 minutes." Delaying by just 10 minutes gives you time to think, is this really what I want to do? It also strengthens your self-control, reminding you that you're in charge of your behavior. Step 3. Time boxing. Plan your tasks in fixed blocks of time. Hashem should say, from 11 to 2, I'll work on my project. From 2 to 4, I'll do another task. The more specific you are about what and when you'll work, the less room procrastination has to creep in. Step 4. Schedule your distractions. There's nothing wrong with enjoying Instagram, gaming, or YouTube. The problem comes when they're unplanned and take over our lives. Plan time for fun activities. When you schedule them, you stay in control. Other helpful tips. Just start. Hashem's biggest mistake was overthinking. The hardest part is starting. Even committing to just 5 minutes often leads to working much longer. Break big projects into smaller, manageable tasks. This makes them less overwhelming and easier to start. Thank you for staying with me and Hashem until the end. In the next video, Hashem will face an even bigger challenge, and together, we'll find a simple and practical solution. Hashem thanks you for watching. Please like this video and share it with your friends so this journey can continue. Change together with Hashem.